Hello everyone, this is Dr. Ahmed Al-Magable, OET lecturer in the official site of OET and a medical doctor who passed the exam. I hope that everyone gets use from this video as we will talk about part A in listening. We all know that part A in listening is about a skill and how you can use this skill to get the highest mark that you can. More than 90% of people can get about 17, 18, but your target mark should be 21 out of 24. You have to get using that I will always say the minimum mark that you have to get in this subtest, and it would be your standard mark that you have to work in. First of all, there is a common word which always is repeated in OET that I will share you once you have once you get in the exam, and it would once you get in the in the course itself, and it would be of course for free from the beginning. It's one of the resources that you will get. So I will talk briefly in the next 10 to 15 minutes that how we can manage this as but please put your headphones and concentrate with me. First of all, I was stunned that as always, because this is the frustrating thing, that you can't find someone who tell you the exact info, the exact skill that you have to get. So first of all, you have to know that you will hear two extracts with the 24 filling gap question 12 by 12, so that you hear a healthcare professional is talking to a patient, and most of people which is very shameful, that they always say that you have just to listen to the patient, which is very wrong. You always have to listen to the patient and the healthcare provider. More than about 85% of the filling gap question you will hear from the patient, but in the same time you will hear about 15% from the healthcare provider. So you have to listen to both of them. First of all, you will be given 30 seconds so that you can read the gaps. Okay, in this 30 seconds you have to follow this. You have to read the title of the gap, and you have to read the gap itself. And do not forget the previous and the word that come after the gap. This is very important. Okay, you have to predict it. Then you ignore this. You ignore this for now. You ignore the sentences that is between the gaps for now. Please concentrate on that. Write it down. Then you go to the next one. Weight loss described as blah in nature, which means that there is a description. Fingertips appear. There is description. Nails feel relatively. It's a feeling. Then you go to the fifth one by reading the title. Then previously employed as I'm waiting for occupation. Now employed as, so there is two occupation, the previous and for the recent one. Then I go to the medical history. Then I current prescription of, I predict here a drug. Sounds in chest report I'm hearing here for particular description of sounds. Further suffering from there is some disease. Previous test in 6 months. So when they are talking about the previous text, I should concentrate in 6 months. Then future action, I'm looking for a test, for some kind of test. Then prescription of. There is a trick that you have to know, that in the first extract you will have more than 30 seconds to read them. To read the how is that? Because they will begin telling you about the instruction about the exam. So you can go and begin with the with the filling gap. Okay, this is very important. So doctor, what about if I don't recap, if I did not if there is some problem in my speed and I did not complete all the gaps, that's very okay, because the first two gaps is too easy, and for those who practice on the exam previously, they will agree me on that. Okay, it's more than normal. Okay, once you hear beep sound, beep, once you hear that sound, you have to go back to the first one, and this time it's prohibited to leave any sentence of this. It's your guideline through this through the conversation. So you will hear something about tiredness, then you will know that he will talk about the first gap. Then he will talk about something about shortness of breath. Then you will get so you know that he's in the second gap. In the same time that you are predicting what is in the second gap, you have to look in the next point. Okay, and you just take the keyword from it, which is fingertips. Then you go one by one to reach what is in the gap. This is very important. This is extremely important, that you should know the propagation of the speech. Okay, so let's begin, and I just want you to know just for now how they are moving from one point to another. And the last thing that I would say before I begin with the recording, that why I told you that you have to read this title, because fortunately before they begin within the title, they will talk, that you will hear. Now I will talk about background detail, now regarding your medical history and etc. So please concentrate on that, because it's extremely important. Okay, now shall we begin with the first one? Let's see. Please concentrate with it.
Occupational English Test. Practice Test 3. Listening Test. This test has 3 parts. In each part, you'll hear a number of different extracts. At the start of each extract, you'll hear this sound. You'll have time to read the questions before you hear each extract, and you'll hear each extract once only.
Okay. So
complete your answers as you listen. At the end of the test, you'll have 2 minutes to check your answers.
Okay, this is extremely important. So as I told you, there is about let's say about 40 seconds that you can earn to learn more about the first extract. Okay, which is extremely important. You have to work in it. So as I told you, another extreme important thing is that I was always asked that, doctor, what about that if I did not recap with the sentence, there's some sentence or some words that they are too long, or there is some challenging gaps that come just like this, one above each other. So what I would say about that is that please just write anything that make you remember when you go back to it, because in the end of the whole exam of listening, you will be given 2 minutes to recap. So you go back and you just correct anything that you have write down quickly. Okay, this is super important. This is very super important. So now please, I want you to focus with him in the first four points. Okay, so that I want the first one and the second one from you. So please concentrate with him.
Part A. In this part of the test, you'll hear to a patient called Robert Miller. For questions 1 to 12, complete the notes with a word or short phrase.
Okay.
You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes.
So as we say, once you hear it, once you hear a beep sound, you have to just go back and recap and concentrate with each sentence which each sentence, so that you can go with this and this and this until you recap all the question with him. Okay, so let's begin.
Good morning, Mr. Miller. Now, looking at your notes, I see you've been having a few problems recently. Could you tell me a little about what's been happening in your own words?
Well, yeah, it's a combination of things, really. To kick off, I feel pretty tired most of the...
Okay, so tired. Please keep in mind that sometimes he would be use synonyms. Okay, so do not just close your mind that you have to hear tiredness per se. Maybe sometimes he would say that I feel that my whole body is down, or I don't feel okay, which means tiredness. Okay, it's just for recapping, so please concentrate.
Time. Just haven't got the energy I used to have.
Right.
And I've got this cough. It's there all the time, and it feels dry. I mean, I'm not coughing up phlegm or blood or anything like that. But the worst thing, which really bothers me, is that I'm so short of breath.
Okay, so he reached here, short of breath. So what is the description of the cough that he gave? Okay, what is the description? So persistent, dry, the cough. And about persistent, he did not say persistent, he would say all the time. So yes, you have to move just like that. Your eyes is in the weight loss described as, and you look at that, and at the same time your eyes in the keyword of the next sentence. Please, I want you to answer 2 and 3 with each other.
Even if I'm just getting dressed in the morning or going up a few steps, I have to stop because I get breathless so quickly. And I've lost quite a bit of weight too. I mean, I didn't notice at first because it was very gradual, but all in all, I'm about 10 kilos lighter than I was 6 months ago.
Right.
I've not been dieting or anything. I love my food.
Okay. And, well, have you noticed anything else?
Yeah, just take a look at my fingers. The tips look swollen, don't they?
Okay, so what is the description about the weight loss that he gave? And what is the appearance of his fingertip that he told? If your answer is a gradual is nature, that is the correct answer, and fingertips appear swollen, so that is the correct one. So sometimes they are asking me that what about if I mistaken in the letter itself, like Botox. What if I put O before X or X before O? Well, this is very subjective, and that's why I'm giving you this common word that you have to recap. Most of them are easy, and you can just remember them by looking at them, and some of them are challenging, so that you can recap with them. Most of the listening is recap or are frequent from the schedule. Okay, so please, you have to recap with it. So we will continue with the. I want now you to focus on the fourth one. Nails feel relatively what?
And it's the same with my toes, which are bulging out at the end too. It's weird. And my nails, I don't understand it. They've become soft. They're not hard like they used to be. Look.
Okay, so figuratively what? If your answer is soft, then then it's the correct answer. Now I want you to recap how it begin with the background detail. It's always using this title.
Okay, I see what you mean. And tell me a little about yourself. What you do for a living?
Well, till recently I worked as a farm laborer. Did it for about 20 years in total. It was hard, physical graft, and it finally got to the stage where I just couldn't cope with it anymore.
Right.
It really took it out of me. So this last couple of years I've been a security guard, working nights at a local DIY warehouse. It's a bit boring and the late shifts took a bit of...
So if your answer is farm labor and the fifth one, this is the correct answer, and the sixth answer is a night guard. So that's what it is. So please just concentrate with him. Always concentrate in each sentence and how he moves from one to another one. So if he sometimes the OET bot like some challenging gaps, okay, filling gap, so that they are talking so fast. Please your point, please just recap with him as much as you can. Okay, recap with him as much as you can, and if you did not hear one of them, please just do not close your mind on that. Just jump to the other and the other and the other. Always recap him when with the sentence that is between the gaps, okay, or about the case that is in the gap itself. This is very super important, okay, because I told you all I want from you from the part A is 21 out of 24. So let's now go with him with each sentence.
Getting used to, but it's okay.
And are you finding it less physically demanding?
That's right. I just haven't got the stamina now for anything else. In fact, I've even had to give up my golf. Can't manage it anymore. Any spare time now goes on looking after my pigeons. I've done that since I was a teenager.
Oh, very nice. And what about your medical history? Now, I see you were diagnosed with hypertension last year,
Okay.
and you're taking beta blockers at the moment for that.
That's right. My GP said...
So what she said, this is one of for now, until now, all the questions are from the patient himself. But look now, who is answering for the seventh question? She said for now, what is he taking? Beta blockers. So please always concentrate with both. So let's see what about his GB, and our keyword is chest sounds. Okay, you have to answer now the 8th and the 9th one. Please concentrate with him.
that it'd help. Something the GP also said when I saw him about my breathing problems was that he heard what he called crackling noises in my chest.
Okay.
I can't hear them, but he could through the stethoscope.
Okay. And is there any family history of breathing or lung problems or any serious illnesses that you know of?
I don't think so. My mother was always healthy, but my dad developed bad eczema as an adult.
Okay, so what about the 8th one? If your answer is a crackling sound, this is the correct one. And what about his father? What he was suffering from? If your answer is eczema, if your answer is asthma, then it is the correct one. So let's see. I want you now to answer 10th, 11th, and the 12th, and please go with each sentence. Okay, just try as much as you can that you recap with him in each sentence, and use the keywords from each gap.
I remember the red patches on his hands and face, but he didn't have any lung problems as far as I know.
Right. And Well, looking at your previous tests, you were diagnosed with hypertension about 6 months ago. You had...
Oh, yeah, an echocardiogram, to check my heart.
Yes.
And a chest x-ray about 4 weeks ago after I saw my GP. That came back okay, as far as I know.
I see.
I'm not keen on hospitals, to be honest. Am I going to need to have lots more tests?
Well, I'm going to suggest you have what's called an arterial blood gas test. This will let us check how well your lungs are working, how they move oxygen into your blood and remove carbon dioxide from it.
Okay.
And I'm also going to order a CT scan. Now, this will be more revealing than the chest x-ray you had, and I may then prescribe a course of corticosteroids. This will depend on what the tests show up. Now, I'd start you on a relatively low...
Okay, let's see. What is this? What is why I told you that you have to read the title here? Always you have to read the title, because previous test. So I'm looking for a test that is happened before 6 months. If you did not read the title, you will put hypertension instead of echocardiogram, because the healthcare provider, she said that you have been diagnosed with hypertension 6 months ago. So in the stress mentality in the exam, you will put hypertension, but no, I'm waiting for a test, right? So what about the future action? What he would be need? She said about arterial blood gas test. So you can put it as ABG or arterial blood gas. That would be okay. About the test, all of the test, you can use the abbreviation of it. Prescription of what? Corticosteroid. If your answer is corticosteroid, then this is the correct answer. Please, before we get into the online live session that would be recorded and you will have access to it to 3 months, please just concentrate and practice before our session, so that we can get into any problem that you have. This is very super important. And please try as much as you can that you attend the online live course, as we will practice on the recent OET test in the past 3 months. So I hope that every one of you is having a good time, had a good time with me and on this. So see you in the next record in part B.